Well, the Public Health Agency of Canada says the death toll has risen to 5 in a salmonella outbreak linked to cantaloupes. The agency says 129 people have been confirmed with salmonella linked to the outbreak. Well, that's almost double the number from the last update on December 1st, when a single death had been recorded. Well, there are no details on the latest deaths, but cases have been rising sharply in Quebec, with 91 confirmed infections compared to 35 last week. Well, there are 17 cases here in Ontario and additional cases in 4 other provinces. Recalls were previously announced for Malichita cantaloupes sold between October 11th and November 14th, and Rudy brand cantaloupes sold between October 10th and November 24th. Well, Lawrence Goodridge is the director of the Canadian Research Institute for Food Safety, and he joins us live with more on this. Thank you so much for joining us, Lawrence. This is deeply concerning, especially considering the numbers of people that are sick and those who have died. What do you make of this situation, and what needs to be done to curb what's happening?
Well, this is a very large outbreak. I note that it's actually an international outbreak. There are currently 129 illnesses here in Canada with 5 deaths, and 230 illnesses in the USA with 3 deaths. So, this really continues to highlight the work that needs to be done to reduce these large outbreaks from happening.
How do we reduce these outbreaks from happening? Is there a testing that's available on, at least some of the product that comes in from wherever it's coming in from? Is there a way to test this before it goes out to the public?
So testing is not an ideal way to ensure the safety of food because of the large volume of food that's being produced, and we can really only test a small percentage of that. So the proper way to reduce the risk of contamination is to work with the producers, the farmers, to understand what's happening with respect to the contamination that occurs and the sources of the contamination from the environment, and to reduce that.
Are there any warning signs, when you cut open one of these cantaloupes or any other fruit? Is there anything that could stick out to someone so that they might be on the lookout for any signs of salmonella?
A common myth is that if you smell food or look at the food, you'll be able to tell if it's contaminated, but that's not true. The bacteria that spoil food are not the same as the bacteria like salmonella or E. coli that make us sick. Those bacteria cannot and do not alter the appearance or the smell of the food. So looking at the food will not provide any warnings. Having said that, if the fruit is bruised or the fruit is exposed, then that fruit should not be consumed.
Given how many people have died as a result of this salmonella outbreak and the amount of people that are sick, what role does government play when it comes to any kind of recourse, or is there?
Well, in the past, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and other agencies have required, testing, to your earlier point, testing to be done for romaine lettuce. You may recall that, between the year 2017 and 2021, there were a number of outbreaks linked to romaine lettuce that came from the United States. So the government required testing of romaine lettuce before it came in. I don't, as I said earlier, I don't think that's really effective. I think what we have to do is really improve how these fruits are produced. We know the causes of the outbreak. From previous outbreaks, we know the causes. I suspect that those causes are similar or will be found to be similar in this outbreak once the investigation is finished. So really what that tells me is that we have ongoing work to do in terms of educating producers and also trying to understand how environmental conditions such as climate change may increasingly cause these outbreaks.
Lawrence Goodridge, Director of the Canadian Research Institute for Food Safety, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.